Namaste. This is Rotarian Anila Pillai reporting live for Rotary Optimus studio. And friends, let me take you to the legal form of Rotarian T. and Subramanian, Senior Counsel. Let's come. Yes, law firm. This is the best profession. You know why? Because they have win-win situation. And this reminds me something in Hindi. रहीमन इस संसार में सबसे सुखी वकील, जीत गए तो वाह वाह, हार गए तो अपील. Our guest for today is Pride of Rotary International District 3141, Senior Counsel, AKS and Rotary International Director, Rotarian T. N. Subramanian. Fondly call Raju. Question to you is, hello.
Hi.
Hi. So now everybody would love to know your journey from Deonar to Evanston.
Well, that's a long journey. I started off as a charter member of Deonar, and I still remember my induction as a member by then past Governor Dr. Chandrakant Mirche at his hands, and we were given a lot of Rotary knowledge by past President Dalal from the Ghatkopar Club. And I think all the time, I was not a very active Rotarian because I was busy with my profession, wanting to come up in my profession. But the realization came to me about what Rotary was when I was suddenly thrown into the seat of the president because the president-elect had to shift jobs, move to Pune. So I was pushed into the throne, though I was going to come in the next year. That year turned out to be the year when my entire impression of Rotary, my understanding of Rotary and the image of Rotary completely changed and transformed me into being a person who had to give a lot more to society than what I was giving till then. That presidential year was in fact a watershed year for me as far as Rotary is concerned. Moving on, after the presidentship, I continued to serve the district in various positions, have held virtually all positions in various avenues of service, till such time that I was asked to be the district secretary by Rahul Timbadia, and I said I'm not interested. I said I'm least interested in getting further in Rotary. So Rahul and Bharat came home and persuaded Vidya, who persuaded me to become the district secretary. I became the district secretary with Rahul. Prior to that, I had become an assistant governor with Gulam when Gulam was governor. And I realized the potentiality of the foundation in that year. But it took away a lot of time, and that is why I said no to district secretaryship, because I would then have to give up a part of my profession. Realization dawned on me that it's only a busy man who can manage his time, and therefore I managed my profession and Rotary both during that year. And then I became the chief coordinator in Bharat's year, became the governor, and 2009-10. And I think the one quality which I have, which many people have, I also have that same quality, is I'm a friendly, down-to-earth soul. I have no arrogance or ego about me. I love meeting people. I think fellowship is a quality which I love. And so I knew my presidents, the family, and their children by first names. And many of the children of the presidents in my year are kids who still keep in touch with me. Their parents may not know things, but I would be their confidant. And even today, there are children of the presidents who call me and tell me that, look, I'm going to break the news of my engagement to my parents because I'm going around with a guy, and they will know now that I am going to get married to him and I want to get engaged. I mean, that is the relationship that I have enjoyed, and I have had a fantastic set of presidents. I mean, I can't believe what they have done to me. They have changed me, transformed me, made me into a different human being, and I realized that communication is not by word alone. That communication is by also touching the shoulder of a friend, which makes it very
sweet.
personal to what they are. After that, of course, I became Rotary International President's rep, went to Thailand, spoke in Thai in my opening address for 5 minutes.
Wow.
I went to USA where the governor, I was in my regalia, a Band Gala, Vidya was in a Kanjivaram sari, and we went down for the opening session of the institute in the Grand Canyon area, and I found all of them in shorts with a tie and a jacket. So I asked them, "Are you underdressed or am I overdressed?" So the governor said, "Let's go and buy shorts for you." So we bought shorts that day. The next day onwards was shorts and jacket. So Rotary has been a life-changing experience. I moved on, went on to the Constitution and Bylaws Committee appointed by my friend Ravindran when he was there as president. And that started my journey as far as RI is concerned. Became the chairman of that committee and earned the respect of the staff because I was blunt. Even if it comes from the board, if I think that the enactment is defective, I would call it defective and say nothing doing. We must send it back. Moving on, I became an election review committee member for 2 years. Was the member in the COL on the organizing committee for 3 years now. All the 3 COL, 16, 19, 16, 19 and 22. All of them I was a member of the organizing committee. But the icing on the cake for this was when Shekhar appointed me as vice chair for this last institute in April 2022. The chair fell ill with COVID and I had had a drink and I had spent 3 hours with him. And I realized that shit, I don't think I'm going to be sitting there as vice chair if he has tested positive. God was kind. I tested negative. Tested 4 times during that period. And I thought, from what people have told me, that it was an outstanding performance by me as a vice chair, taking over at the last minute into the shoes of the chair. I must thank a lot of people who have helped me on the way. And then came this question of becoming a director. Kamal Sangvi, in fact, had egged me on at Hamburg Convention, became RRFC, gave me the connect with the zone. And then, of course, all this happens, girl, only when he wants it to happen. I strongly believe that it is destiny that takes you wherever you are. You may dream as much as you like. The dreams become a reality only when he says yes to that destiny that is yours. And if the destiny is mine, no power on earth can take it away. If the destiny is not mine, no power on earth can ever give it to me. So I'm grateful to the Lord for giving me all these opportunities to serve the community, and I'm grateful to Him for whatever He has done and keeping me in good health to ensure that I continue to serve.
Wow, you have spoken with your heart. At some moment, it gave me my goosebumps. So much to learn, Raju, in your journey from Deonar to Evanston. It was really, really, really hard work, touching the heart, touching the communication. So much you have expressed in just 3 minutes or 4 minutes of time. Next is Raju, being an Rotary International Director 23-25, how you propose to impact Rotary International?
Well, I want to impact Rotary in India because I think this is my home ground, and I think it's necessary to impact in Rotary India if I have to impact Rotary International. Rotary throbs in India both in membership as well as in foundation. But I think we are lagging behind, or we need to do a lot of corrective steps in certain areas. And I think that is necessary, and that will be my focus as far as I am concerned. Impacting Rotary International is going to be that I propose being an ambassador of our country on the board of Rotary International to tell them the goodness of Rotarians in India and the goodness that Rotarians spread and serve in the community by the work that they do. Five fingers are never alike. Everything does not always go to plan. A few things may go astray, but those things cannot be the parameters on which you can judge Rotary and Rotarians in India. This impression, if it is there, I need to correct, and I'll do my utmost to correct that impression, to tell them that this is where Rotary really lives and throbs. I will support all programs of the Rotary India and at the international level. I will also want to make a few changes at the international level, which I do not wish to discuss at this point of time, because that will be also in consultation with the members of the board, and after discussing with them, that I have a few thoughts of some changes that we need to make in the manner in which we function, so that we are able to get better members, younger members, more lady members, and most importantly, having membership alone does not help us grow. Attendance, which is an abysmal low in all clubs and generally a trend all over the world, we need to check it, understand, analyze, and find a solution for it. Those are the areas in which I will work, and I have always been a very, very strong votary and a supporter of the Rotary Foundation, without which I think Rotary International will be nothing, because it's that service that we do to the foundation that gets us our public image, brings us the public understanding of the largeness of the projects that we do.
Thank you for wonderful mantra for Rotarians to retain Rotary and to be a true Rotarian. Raju, you have been donning so many hats in Rotary. How you juggle with it, rather manage it?
I don't know how I have managed with it, but I think God has given me the energy, the enthusiasm, and I think also the willpower to manage most of these things. And I'm grateful to Him for having given me all this, given me fairly good health that I have been able to manage things. And I personally believe that if you want to find a path to succeed and you have the will to do so, everything will fall into place. So I don't see why anybody cannot juggle with multiple things that they do. Anyway, I'm a multitasking guy. As my wife always puts it, you're talking to me at the same time you're sending a message to somebody and also answering a mail. But my thoughts are in all the places. So I'm used to that. My profession is another thing which has given me the habit of multitasking. Because I think, as we are listening to the judge, we are also working our mind on, we are also looking at the law. A lot of things have worked. So I think multitasking is an excellent thing to do. And I think when you juggle with many things in life which you love, then jugglery becomes easy. But if you don't love the things that you're doing, then jugglery will be the most impossible thing for you to do. So I think I have loved whatever I have done in life so far. So juggling has not been that difficult for me.
How nice. Raju just mentioned his profession has given him this edge of multitasking, and that is reflected in the courtroom when I see the interns and juniors rushing to hear his articulation and argument in the court. That is what our Raju is. Raju, if this is something question thoda hatke, if you were to dine with someone, table for two, other than your family member, who that person would be?
One, it will be non-Rotary, because when you dine, you concentrate on the drink and the food and not on Rotary. If it is a Rotarian, all that we veer down ultimately is kya project hua, kyun hua, kaise nahi hua. So I would prefer to dine with somebody who's non-Rotary. And the person I'd really like to dine with is a person I admire a lot because of his grit, because of his ability, and the gentleman is Virat Kohli.
Wow, that's the answer. Come on, you charge up. Thank you for this most welcome offer. Raju, your fond Rotary moment internationally.
Uh, my fond moment internationally is something where I was not even a president of the club, but it gave me a vista of what Rotary is. Vidya and I were in Boston, and we had gone to the mall there, which was in downtown Boston. That was the only mall there at that point of time. There were no mobiles, and foreign goods were not available in India. So as usual, the wife shopped, and shopped. And ultimately, I had to carry the bags. It was getting dark, and I was standing there wondering how to get a cab. Till a gentleman came, his Cadillac, he opened the door, made his wife sit down in the car. And then he turned around and saw me, and I was wearing my Rotary pin. He walked up to me and asked me, "Are you a Rotarian?" I said, "Yes." He said, "From where?" I said, "From Bombay." He says, "Oh, I have worked in Bombay, in Siemens, and I used to be there for a long period of time."
Wow.
So I said, "Oh, that's such a coincidence." He says, "But you're looking a little lost." I said, "Sir, can you get me a taxi?" He says, "Oh, there's one available." Picked up the bags escorted my wife to the car, opened the trunk, put the bags in, made me sit down and said, "We'll find your house." All I knew was that there was a Pizza Hut. And I also knew that what some of the other indications there, because I had lost the slip of paper which had the address. We found the address. He found the house. He picked me up next day and took me to his club. And Vidya and I thereafter were such good friends with them, they even came for our daughter's wedding. Just that one pin made such a difference of relationship and friendship.
Wow. Power of Rotary is just express. Friends, be a Rotarian and proud Rotarian. Thank you. Yeah, one more. It's so interesting. Your first answer was so touching, interesting. Now, one more
The
incident.
other one is not international, Anila. It will be local. It happened to be a club member, Naresh Shenoy. His daughter got admission in the Fashion Institute Technology in Imphal. He went there and they asked for a local guardian. I was the governor then. And he called me and said, "Raju, they want a local guardian. I don't know a soul in this place." So I said, "Don't worry, just sit there. Let me check." I spoke to Ajit Airam, my batchmate governor from Imphal. He was on an official club visit to Assam. He said, "Raju, ask him to wait outside the office. And is he wearing a Rotary pin?" I said, "He's wearing a Rotary t-shirt." And in about 10 minutes time, a police escorted car came in, and the gentleman got out and said, "Who is Naresh Shenoy?" So Naresh was worried whether what wrong has he done that a police car is coming. He said, "I'm Naresh Shenoy." He said, "Oh, I'm the commissioner of police and I'll be your daughter's guardian." A few minutes later, the chief parish came and he said that I will be the child's guardian. A few minutes later, the owner of the largest hospital in Imphal came and he said, "I will be the child's guardian." They went into the principal's room. She got up and she told him, "If you had told me these three are your guardians, I would never have asked you a question at all." Now we have a relationship with them that when there are patients who are ill, whether terminally ill with cancer or others, Naresh Shenoy and his team help them out. So just that Rotary pin and a guardianship has built a relationship of service of healthcare for them.
We salute Rotary. Thank you so
Totally,
much.
I agree with you. We need to salute our organization.
Your message for Rotarians. Precious words for them.
My friends, I would appeal to each one of you to live by what our organization stands for. I would appeal to you to ensure that everything that you do brings with it the flavor of service above self. I will appeal to you to be completely ethical and have the utmost integrity in our actions, in our words, and what we say. Let us not say or do anything that is capable of hurting somebody else, because fellowship is the basis of our organization and the cornerstone of our organization. Let's not do anything which looked at by any or angle will be something which will be against the tenets of the four-way test, and which will in fact be something that can break relationships. I would personally request all of you, my friends, have the courage to also speak your mind if things are going wrong. Let's not just follow the leader, let's also start leading the leaders. And I think it is necessary to do so, because all of us are leaders. None of us are people who are servile to follow a leader. And I would appeal also to each one of you, have a conscience, never betray the trust that is reposed in us, whether by the community or whether by a fellow Rotarian or by any secret or anything else shared with you or me. And lastly, my friends, let's open up our purses a little more. Let's support our Rotary Foundation to help them to doing good in the world and make this world a much better place to live in, and ensure that finally we achieve our objective of world peace.
Thank you so much for those words, and Rotarians are going to be a further true. I can't say those things, and you have given them such a lovely message. और जो राजू ने अपने दिल की बात कही है, दिल से बात कही है, it has gone even beyond four-way test. There are so many parameters to make you a good Rotarian. Thank you Raju for this. और इनके लिए मैं कहना चाहूँगी, वक्त के साथ चलना ज़रूरी नहीं है, वक्त के साथ चलना ज़रूरी नहीं है, सच के साथ चलिए, एक दिन वक्त आपके साथ चलेगा. And this is what you have proved. Thank you so very much.